So I'm in the Lexus right now, and what I have just done is hooked up this little switch here. This is an old brake pedal switch or brake light switch that I kind of had laying around, and I connected it to the power supply for the cigarette lighter, and then put the other end down to our trans brake solenoid. Yeah, you can hear it pretty good with the door open. So now I've got the trans brake on this parking brake switch, or brake pedal switch, and we're going to see if we're able to get any additional stall using the trans brake versus the foot brake. We're going to see what we can do on the trans brake. Make sure it works. I don't even know if the trans brake is going to work. I mean, I don't know. I haven't done anything with it since I got the trans. So we shall see. I'm going to back up a little bit because my Corvette's right in front of us, and I just don't really know what's going to happen. So there's first. And now the car's trying to inch forward. If I hold the trans brake. Oh, it's not moving. Nice. The trans is the brake's holding. Oh, wait, I just lost it. All right, so the brake's working. So I was just on the trans brake, and it was stalling to the same spot. Let's try to trust it a little more this time. I was still on the foot brake quite a bit. Okay, so let's go back into first. Got the trans brake. Off the foot brake. The brake's working, so that's exciting. The trans brake does work, but as I suspected, it's the same result. You know, I figured on the foot brake, if the back wheels are not spinning, it basically is a trans brake. And people kept telling me like, you might be able to stall more on the trans. But I think people who are having those findings are actually having an engine that makes torque. You know, instead of it stalling too early and they're getting wheel spin. But we don't have that problem. Either way, it's pretty freaking cool. A little higher, honestly. Hey, okay, that time it actually went a little bit above 3,000, but still not even close to enough to spool the turbo. Good news is tomorrow, Saturday night, this is just Friday night, I'm just goofing around in my driveway. Tomorrow, me and my boy Matt are taking a little ride out to Force Performance. And guess what we're doing when we get there? What we're picking up. Greetings, folks. Once again, Saturday night, Steve here.
And Matt.
And we are heading out to Van Alstyne right now because we're going to go pick up a brand new Force Performance turbocharger.
A very special surprise for the Lexus.
For the Lexus. And we got a decent deal on this thing. I think it's going to be way better suited for our needs. It should... I don't know if it will eliminate our launching issue completely. It's still a pretty big turbo, but it's going to be definitely more appropriate on the back housing. The exhaust housing on is going to be a .82 AR, which is the same AR that we have on the Z, albeit the Z is a T3 flange and or inlet, and this one is a 2.4. So I'm not really sure how the car is going to be with it, but we are expecting to see a lot of improvement there. And
not to mention, all around, it's just going to be a way better turbo.
Yeah, it's going to just be more efficient. It's going to come on quicker. It's going to flow better, and basically all the good things the turbos need to do will just be superior. So we're going to pick that up right now at Force Performance, and with a little luck, we'll get it on the car and get the car running tonight. Anyway, we're going to grab that, head back to the shop, and see how she fits.
Oh my God, this is it.
Here we go. Oh, dude, it looks so much like smaller and nicer than the other one.
Whoa!
Beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah, the freaking housing is
it's way
smaller.
better.
That's
Yeah.
so much better,
oh my
dude.
God, it's gonna fit so much better too.
It's gonna fit great. Wow, I love it.
This is one I assembled actually.
No way. Well, thank you, sir.
I don't think this package, like this size, when we get it, doesn't come with the cover or turbine housing, and so we have to like mix mash it and
Sure.
make our own parts.
Yeah, I saw there was a couple different
Turbine housing options. Yeah, you can
Nice.
.81 AR turbine housing or a .96. No, this one's a .81. Yeah.
It looks sexy.
For a 3-liter 2J, it's perfect.
I think
Yeah.
I think it'll be a great fit because that GT45 has a 1.05 AR, and that mother will not. Speak.
Yeah, it just
That's what my dad said. He's like, they got a GT something. It's just not spooling.
It's like 4,500 RPMs and up to get it to spool.
Yeah.
So we like.
It was a nice $150 fit for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, I will say that turbo doesn't spin until we get way up in it, but when it does, it sounds mean. It sounds like a fighter jet coming in or something. Yeah.
This is really gonna be what we need.
Yes, dude. Oh, beautiful.
And then we'll let you get out of here.
Yeah, again, thanks for coming up here,
appreciate
man.
it.
Really, we had
Accommodating us. We like-
nothing to do tonight. We were like, oh shit.
It's kind of like last minute.
Ah, it's so nice being here again. I love this place.
I can walk you around if you guys like.
Yeah.
Shit, of course, yeah.
This is Jimmy Reed's 1G Talon TSI.
Ooh.
This guy's old school DSMer, and he's pretty much gotten everything he had out of this car. This car is immaculately beautiful.
Yeah,
It's legitimately perfect. It's like a 9-second 5-speed.
What?
Dang.
Oh my
It's a
God.
full interior and stuff too?
Full interior, full weight. And this one, it's currently my dad putting it back together for my cousin Austin. He was up here a little while ago. But this is a shop car, actually. Force Performance has built a handful of cars.
Yeah.
This being one of them. And this is a car built for Motorsports Ranch.
Oh, no way.
Years ago. Yeah. It's got Porsche front brake calipers on it. Straight up. It's,
Oh my God.
It's I think they're 4-pots up front. It's getting rebuilt as a 2-liter. The Gallant over there, that's my dad's.
Yeah. Yeah, we've seen
Yeah,
before,
that
yeah.
one had
You guys took that out last year, didn't you?
Yeah, we took it out to the DSM show in Ohio, and I was actually the driver for it.
No way.
I managed to run a 12.0 twice in that car.
Yeah, nice.
Hey.
Didn't y'all say that car got driven like around the country and stuff too?
It's like a one lap of America car. So it's like Rocky Mountain Race Week.
Yeah.
Except you go to a track instead of a drag strip.
Yeah.
But it's
Hell
that
yeah.
exact kind of process.
That's so cool.
I think it's super cool.
What's this little thing?
That's my dad's old fastback. He used to drag race that.
what?
Is that a Volkswagen?
Yes, sir. So this is like the turbo shelf.
It's like a pro mod.
Wow.
turbo.
Big boys.
Yeah, real big boys.
Yeah, people sending their stuff. This is where it sits until we tear it down. Then
It's
it
like
gets
y'all are
okay.
busy.
Yeah, we are swamped in
Awesome.
in teardowns right now.
That's
Rebuilds.
good though. I mean, work's coming in. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, because COVID hit, and then everyone's like,
It's like
on their
off season
cars.
for everybody.
time to race car, mother.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yes, all the black coated pressure covers. Those are coated turbine housing right here. I actually take a peek.
Ooh,
at.
nice. Yeah, that looks cool.
This
looks awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that's just like an upgrade option you guys give everybody.
But you can pretty much get this on any turbine housing, compressor cover. This is our UHF. That's the cool stuff right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the magic. Yeah.
Yeah. Stage, you broke it into like 3 parts,
Yeah.
and you pass like the part 1 flag.
Sure, yeah. This Talon looks like it was pretty serious too.
And this is a pretty nice car.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. It looks pretty complete. Yeah.
I mean, compared to my car,
Still got good tires on it. Yeah, the 2 of them.
2 of them. Then we have a Colt that we kind of. There's a bunch of ideas floating around right now.
That's so wacky, dude.
That's a Dodge Colt.
What?
And that was part of the whole DSM thing.
Yeah.
There was the
I've never
Mitsubishi-
even heard of that before.
There was the Mitsubishi Mirage, and then there was the Dodge Colt.
Huh.
And you could get them turbo front-wheel drive. And they had a 4G92T, which is a 1.6 liter 4G63.
What
It's a, you can think of it as a
hell?
D-stroke 4G63.
That's so wacky, dude.
that's
Like,
so
DSM
cool.
made so many wacky
It's
things.
adorable.
Dude. Yeah, it's so cool.
And the Mirage, they sold in Japan. It started off kind of as
Look
like
at
an
that drag
actual
wing.
JDM car. This
Wow.
was another car we got from Rally Ready that we're kind of holding on to because it's a nice chassis and it's an all-wheel drive car and it has a good motor.
It's got a full cage in it already and everything.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So we're kind of holding on to it as a parts car and this hood's really nice, especially compared to mine. And the engine bay, this is something you'll rarely see with the DSM.
Wow, it's totally stock.
It's stock. And it's really nice when I want to work on my car. Cause
Yeah,
I know, like,
anything you might need, you can just pull straight from here. Yeah.
I've tried not to do that because like you can look at something like that goes there. That goes
Right.
there.
Yeah. All right, baby, we're back at the shop now. The Lexus is already here. I drove it in to work this morning from home. Of course, it drove excellent. It's a very good running car right now.
She's sleeping.
Look what we have here.
Oh my God.
She looks so nice. And we are super pumped to get that thing on. We should be able to just bolt it right into place. Do you see a V-band, dude? Is there one attached to the end of it? Oh, maybe under the... Ah! Whoa, what's that? Ah, seals. Damn it. We were supposed to get a V-band clamp with it, but alas, we did not. Hopefully the one that we're using on our downpipe will work. But we're going to get that thing put on here real quick and get rid of this big, gross, stupid turd. It actually kind of started leaking a little bit of oil out of the return today, so impeccable timing to pick up this new unit. And of course, got a little bit of swag from the boys, trying to show some support while we're out at the track. And in doing so, we also picked up this sweet little decal. So now, Matt, solely by himself, is going to replace this turbocharger. And he could not be more thrilled about it.
Shut the hell up, you're gonna help me.
Oh, just look at her. Just look at her. Of course, you cannot look at a turbo without giving it a little spinny spin. Check out that 72 millimeter billet wheel. So sexy. All right, let's get started. Let's do it, baby. Well, we're done with that turd for now. Hopefully forever, I imagine.
Who wants to buy it?
For sale.
$100.
Light use. Only saw one engine failure.
Light track use.
All right, cool. Now I already got the downpipe disconnected, so all you got to do is
Get those guys.
get those bitch ass nuts off, which are going to be a pain, I promise.
Didn't you use a really thin wrench for those?
That wrench you were just using with the different angles on it, this guy, this is a great wrench set.
That's big.
All right, guys. Man, this thing is so heavy. So this is the old turbine housing off the cheap eBay turbo. It's so heavy, it's hard to hold with one hand, like up in the air. Let's just get a little side-by-side comparison. Oh my God, dude, look at the difference. Wow. Huge difference on the housing.
Now, granted, that's a bigger housing. I don't want to touch that dirty thing. So that's a much larger housing, so of course it's going to be a little bigger, but just it seems with one of the big differences we see between Chinese eBay quality and actual like decent quality is really just like the thickness of the casting.
Something else Steve-O was pointing out, if you look at where this nut fits on, this is what connects the flange. The stud comes through right here and the bolt has to fit right in this tiny little space. It's so small you can't even get a tool on it to tighten it. So, I mean, it's been basically as tight as we can get with the very, very end of an open end wrench.
All right. I did one of your spirited guys. All right, so the turbo is physically in the car, but we had a lot of issues. This honestly went exactly like when we put the turbo on the Z, and you just keep kind of coming up a day late and a dollar short on everything.
It's nothing new for us, but it's never fun.
It's fitting a turbo is difficult because they're all hard pipes, and everything has to have clearance and line up appropriately. So, first issue we came into was the drain and the compressor housing were contacting this first runner. So we were able to actually get a thicker gasket between the turbine and the header, and that was just enough to give us the clearance that we need so they're not touching. We're kind of crashed into the wall here with this coupler here, as you can see. That's not ideal, and so we got to fix that. And one of the bolts that holds the center support to the turbine I just couldn't get on it with any tools. I even
Modified tools, yeah. We tried, damn
I
it.
even sacrificed a Craftsman wrench, made it thin, cut it open, made it short, just to try to get that thing run down as much as I could.
R.I.P. Craftsman wrench.
So we still have work to do. The angle of the center housing is a little bit crooked, and I'd like that to be a little more vertical. So, but also the downpipe is a 3.5-inch V-band, which I thought this had. Evidently that's wrong because it's way too big. So I'm gonna have to weld a new V-band flange on the downpipe, which I'm gonna have to order. Actually, Robert should have one for the turbo that we were supposed to pick up while we were there and we didn't. We're gonna end up getting a spacer of some sort. We gotta get some kind of spacer to bring the turbo
Just
up.
to raise it up off the headers
Maybe
a little bit, yeah.
1/8 of an inch to 1/2 inch. And we got plenty of room everywhere else to do that.
Yeah.
But right now it's just a little bit too low. We're a little too close to the header. The return's too close, and we're too tight in this little corner here.
Everything's pretty much just too tight at this point. Like just a little bit of space to free things up will make a huge difference.
So if we're able to just bring the whole thing up just a little,
yeah,
we'll be Gucci. So facing the clearance issues that we discovered last week. We're too close to this runner with the compressor. We're too close to the body down here for the 90-degree turnout. So my solution to that is a spacer. So my solution is I bought this flange from Summit for like 20 bucks. It's just like a raw flange for building a manifold if you were building it yourself. And so I just got 2 of these gaskets. And I'm just gonna throw on a T4 gasket. Throw on this 3/8 inch T4 steel flange. Throw on another gasket, steel gasket. And see how this helps our clearance issues. Make sure the studs are long enough too. I know they're gonna be kind of close. And I think once we get it started, we should be enough threads for the nuts to pull that down. We'll have all new nuts on it too. But that brings the turbo up 3/8 of an inch or better. And so that should give us a little bit more forgiveness near this runner and a little bit more room for our 90 to come out the bottom here. We'll see how everything fits now with that spacer in place. All right, so everything is pretty snug on the turbo now. Everything's okay for now. So everything is good to go right now except the exhaust pipe, which I have here. I did have to weld on a smaller V-band flange here. And as usual, the welders are a little rough, hit or miss. Some are better than others. The ones up here on top turned out okay. I know I'm using too much heat, and that's why it's going all gray. I don't really know how to fix that. I just feel like it doesn't really work if I don't use extra heat. But the whole pipe's kind of a turd. It's just kind of ugly little project. It was my first ever stainless experience, and honestly today, I just wanted to make it work. So I'm gonna slap this puppy on there, and we got a little blanket to go around the turbine, and then we get to see how she drives. All right, after many trials and tribulations, we were able to finally get the turbo mounted. The oil drain or the center housing is right at 15 degrees. That's
the limits of tolerable.
Definitely the limit, and that's pretty much as high as Robert permitted me to go from Force Performance. So we're kind of pushing the limits there, but for right now, this is good enough. We're just probably not going to street it that much. Yeah. We'll just trailer it to the track.
Just for now, just so we get some of the kinks.
Get some passes in. Bro, why the hell does it sound totally different? It sounds like a different car.
It really does.
We got to still figure some things out. I routed my oil drain in a risky spot, and it's leaking like a bitch. Like it almost like immediately right started melting through.
Things are getting hot quick over on that.
I got like heat tape, a heat shield, and that's PTFE hose with like a steel braid around it. Yeah. Like, it was like 4 layers of protection, and even just enough. Like getting on the converter was enough to start melting it. So
we got some work to do with that.
We were I was kind of hoping we put it on the trailer and take it to XRP this weekend, but
this doesn't make any sense.
It's not gonna happen. No, I mean, we can't be out there leaking oil and shit. So, but it looks cool.
Yeah, it looks great.
It looks cool, and it's all on there. So now we just got to figure out how to make it all work better. Here we are once again trying to get this figured out. So my solution now is, instead of just using this flange that has an AM that goes on it, and I tried all kinds of different angles coming out of here, it's just there's not enough room. Focus. There's not enough room between this runner and the compressor outlet, which comes down right here, to run like a hose and all the fittings and such. So we got this little piece of aluminum tubing. We actually got a whole box of them, and they're all like 12 inches. It's like a pack of 6 for like 13 bucks. Yep. It's a 5/8 inch diameter tube or pipe, just like the diameter of a 10 AN fitting. So I'm going to be welding that to this somehow, and then kind of wiggling it out of the tight space, and then we'll put this fitting down at the bottom of it, and I'll weld it on there. So then we'll just have a short section of hose down far away from the heat source.
Right up from this guy right here.
So that's what we're gonna be working on. We really were hoping to get this thing to the track this week and just kind of see what kind of difference the new turbo is gonna make. But we're not quite there yet. We can't go out there and make a big mess on the track and make everybody hate us. And
I mean, not to mention if we start for oil, we're risking our engine and this brand new turbo, both of which are expensive.
Yeah, bad idea.
We've blown an engine before. We know how expensive it is to fix.
True that. So that's what we're working on tonight. So I'm going to, me and Matt are going to start cleaning up all the anodizing off of this so I can be ready to weld. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to go, but we're just going to kind of wing it.
We'll find out.
All right, getting her cleaned up. Hold up that piece right there.
Stuff out of the inside still.
Yeah, I gotta use my file. So this is where we're at so far. Just ugly little splotchy welds, but I know they're airtight. I already checked. And it's gonna be great to get around that little exhaust pipe. Let's go give her a little test fit and I don't think we have a whole lot more to do, really. Just zigzagging out of that really tight area is all we're really needing to do.
So that's flush right about there.
Okay, that looks pretty
looks perfect,
good.
yeah.
That's about exactly what we want.
Nice.
And now we'll turn it straight down and just go down a couple inches before we go to weld on the other AN fitting.
Nice.
And we'll be freaking ready to we'll run a little bit of hose there just to keep it simple and serviceable. All right, so here is the finished piece. The return flange, relocating our AN down around all the nonsense, and it turned out pretty good. I'm not terribly ashamed of it. My welds got kind of dirty on that last part. I'm not sure why, but airtight, and up here's a little blobby. But it's really tough with this material. It's so thin. So Matt's back there working on putting the last fitting and shortening the hose. Then we should be good to get this thing back on and put our compressor back together. All right, so we got the pipe in and it's looking good, man. It looks real close to the manifold, but it's not. There's a nice few millimeters between them. I just want it real close because our compressor snout goes down right here, and I don't want any interference. But we got the AN fitting and everything connected going down to the pan, so we should be good, baby. I'm gonna throw that compressor on there and see how she runs. All right, so now that that's all sorted, it's so much better now. It's so much better. It doesn't get near the compressor at all. This coupler's actually not even touching the body anymore. Before it was kind of pressed up against the body there. So super stoked about how that went. Clearance is great. That pipe's not bothering anybody. Everything is perfect. So now we just want to do a quick smoke test on the car and see if we can find any issues. And what did we find?
We have found 2 issues. One,
Smoke Pro turned off.
if you take a look right down here.
It'll probably take a while for it to start. Oh, no, there it goes.
You can see it already.
Let's get some light on it.
Right on our charge pipe, right there. We're going up 2. It's kind of hard to see on the video, but there's a noticeable amount of smoke leaking out there.
Yeah.
And that thing only puts out,
See how wet it is, too.
2 psi.
I mean, this Smoke Pro won't, less than
Yeah.
2 psi. So very, very low pressure.
And then we also found our blow-off valve is leaking not only out of the gasket, but potentially out of the valve itself.
That's definitely
There's quite a bit of smoke coming out of there, too.
Yeah, it's coming out of the gasket primarily. I can't really say if it's... A second ago, oh shit, what am I pointing at? A second ago, it didn't appear to be coming through the valve, but now it does. I'm not sure if it's just blowing from that flange, but I think I might have some material here to just throw a new kind of gasket dill on that. And then Matt's about to take this coupler off and see if we can find anything suspect here. Because this pipe goes all the way into here.
Yeah,
It is way on there, and that clamp is tight as hell. So I don't know what we're gonna find under there. Maybe a crack or some debris just in the ceiling area there. I'm not sure. All right, so I put a new gasket on the blow-off valve, and it seemed to help where it was leaking out from that gasket. Matt reclamped this, and we didn't see any more leaks from it, but then we started seeing leaks from here. So basically just went through and tightened a whole bunch of clamps, just make sure everything is good and snug. I think these are very minor leaks. Honestly, I'm not sure if they're enough to cause a loss of boost pressure, but just gonna throw some of this heat wrap that we had left over on these tranny lines that are kind of close to the downpipe. They're turning kind of black from soot, so we're gonna try to keep them cool as possible. But then I'm just gonna have Matt put it on the foot brake, or maybe the trans brake if we can get it to work. It only works sometimes. And then I'm just gonna kind of check for leaks in a couple specific areas. I'd like to just make sure that our $20 blow-off valve isn't bypass or releasing boost from there whenever we were actually going under load. And lastly, our super cheap wastegate, this little pipe right here. I'm gonna just shove this little piece of napkin in there, just like that. Just shove that little napkin right there lightly, and it should stay put while power braking. There should be nothing coming out of that pipe, so that napkin should not fall out. So that's what we're gonna check, make sure the wastegate's staying sealed and the blow-off valve staying sealed, because we smoked it after that, after making those little changes, and everything's holding smoke, so we'll just have to see. You think that's gonna hold up, brother?
I think so. Do you think so?
I mean, it looks good. I like the way it looks.
How about the way it feels?
Feels good too.
Cool, I like it.
Okay, cool. Let's do this shit. Let's bring her down and try to put her in some boost. Oh, what a sight. Beautiful,
beautiful
force
beautiful piece of
performance,
machinery.
quality turbocharger, exhaust blanket,
That apparently burned.
turbo guard. Ah, yeah. What happened to that? Someone tell me what happened to that. That looks like a fire happened to me. Did that briefly light on fire?
Oh, look, the whole fucking... Whoa.
What? What? What are you seeing? What?
All of this is that.
I wonder if it like flashed some oil that was on it. That looks like the mark of fire.
Yeah, the mark of fire.
So I think we fixed our oil return issue, and we took the car for a ride for really the first time actually on the street with the new Force Performance Turbo. So on our cruise with the car, with the new turbo, man, unfortunately, I just don't think we have a whole lot of gain here. Obviously, we gained an excellent turbo. I mean, the other one was getting shaft play already.
Yeah.
Before we even went to import face-off, there was little, like tiny little scribed marks where it looked like the compressor wheel had like tapped the housing for a moment. So that's another reason we only sent it on gate at IFO, which a lot of people probably wouldn't have even done that.
Right.
But so we needed a turbo upgrade anyhow. So this is what we decided to do. We worked with Force Performance to work out a good deal on it, and it's a good turbo, but it's still a big turbo.
Yeah, we're still just having spooling troubles at the line. That's our biggest thing.
We're still having big turbo problems. And like we haven't even tapped into this thing at all. We're just driving on gate, but we're trying to get a little bit more off of the line. I got the trans brake working the other day, and well, I say that. It only works sometimes, but I think there's some internal transmission stuff going on in our reverse. Anyway, I digress. So even on the trans brake, we're only getting to about maybe 3,100 RPMs. Foot brake, it's basically the same. I feel like maybe it does a tiny bit better on the trans brake, but it's minuscule. So if we set the two-step to come on at like 3,000 RPMs, obviously that doesn't do anything. It's just like bam, 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 bam. Like it doesn't give you any.
Bounces off the rev limiter.
It doesn't add anything. So this turbo spools pretty much at the same time that our other one did. Even though the back housing is a 0.81 instead of a 105. So much smaller back housing. Of course, it's got like the fancy Force Performance billet wheel and for the compressor and all that.
I mean, it's 1,000 times better turbo, for sure.
Yeah. It's a 72 millimeter, and our old one was a 69. But of course, keep in mind, that's the compressor size. That's not the thing that does the spinning is the back, and it's smaller, and it's just not paying off really so far as like just launching off the foot brake like we normally do. So we're probably still going to need the help of nitrous to get this going, or a smaller turbo.
Yeah. But that would just be working backwards.
It just kind of, I mean, we really have to ask ourselves what our goals are. Right now, I would love for the car to just run like mid 7-second, 1/8 miles reliably. We could have a bunch of fun with it. It'd be real competitive with the Z. We could put it in 11.5 index because it's pretty close. I mean, with just a little adjustments, we could get it ready for an 11.5. But long term, that's not what we want to do with it. It's going to be a powerhouse. It's going to be a very powerful car. So maybe we just skip the 7s and 11s.
Skip straight to the big turbo.
And
I mean, the thing is, if we can get enough nitrous just to get it up and spooling at the line, then I mean we can build the map and build the tune slowly from there. I mean we're just gonna hit it with a little bit of nitrous just to get everything spinning up.
That's true. So I think probably the next purchase in that case is gonna have to be a nitrous kit. Maybe we can find like a cheap like pre-owned one, just like a single nozzle dry shot. The micro squirt can handle fuel enrichment for nitrous and stuff. Like it does all that. So I think we're still gonna take it to the track. I think next week, as long as no new information surfaces between now and then. I'll probably drive it home one day this week, and we're gonna go to the track with our slow ass launches and just I think we'll put the boost controller on and turn a little more boost up. We'll try to back half better,
and we can tune in some more timing and stuff too once we know what it's gonna do.
Right. We started, so I didn't actually get any of that on film. So we started adding timing in the cells where we sit on the foot brake, and I mean it made a substantial difference.
Definitely.
And we only added them to that little part of the map. We're so scared to really do too much in terms of timing because of our last failure, but we're running it real safe right now, and we don't have to be that safe. So we're gonna start feeding a little more timing into it. We'll go to the track, we'll get some data, we'll get some good logs, we'll get the fuel map perfect, and then we'll start just feeding in timing here and there, just kind of sprinkling it in certain places, and we'll see what it does. It's gonna front half like shit. I think, man, honestly, if I could see a 2.2 60 foot out of it, I'd be pretty excited.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was at Ennis, it was doing 2.5s. Yeah. So, but we got a new turbo on it. We're real excited with continuing working with Force Performance, and I just know that we're gonna love
this thing is gonna pay off once we get it working for us the way we want it to.
Yeah. But that's gonna be all for this week. Oh, another thing I wanted to just talk about. I just wanted to rant about for a minute. So on the the oil return. So that's a situation where there was just nothing available that you could just bolt in to take care of that problem. And we were able to actually make the part we needed using the TIG welder. You know, it wasn't super pretty. It's not something I would market for profit, but we were able to make the part. And I just kind of want to bring this point to light. Like, I bought that TIG welder with no TIG welding experience whatsoever, 100% self-taught. And of course, Jody from YouTube, like everyone's probably found before. And I've been able to make parts with it. You know, it was I think I spent like $1,600 on it, which is a pretty big chunk of change. But we built a cage with it. We built a cage. We built intercooler piping. I've repaired things. I've plugged holes and manifolds and I mean,
it's paid for itself 100 times over.
It's definitely paid for itself at least once, maybe twice. But it's going to continue to. And so I definitely want to encourage anyone who wants to kind of just sloppy mechanic it like we do to make the investment and just get you a little TIG machine. And man, it totally opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
Just like the investment in time that it saves you if you can weld something in one night to get around a problem instead of having to wait a week for something to come in, or wait for a shop to fabricate something for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, another thing I welded was the wastegate flange on our super cheap headers was this weird rectangle, and I was able to weld on a V-band for that so that these super cheap headers work. You know, we couldn't even find a gate that would work on them. But anyway, so the point is,
get you welding.
Spend a little bit and get a welder, man. Teach yourself. It's not that hard. There's plenty of information out there to be successful with that. But more on that definitely coming up in the future. And we should be at the track next week. We're going to trailer the Lexus to the track, make some passes, do some tuning. Hope you're there to see it. Like and subscribe. We'll see you next week.